There's so many things in this world that bother us, and we have to tolerate them, isn't it? Yeah, Krishna tells us to tolerate. But wouldn't it be nice to be able to see things in a way that often it wouldn't even bother us? There'd be nothing to tolerate. So I want to talk about that. As many of you know, I've been teaching forgiveness. We have a forgiveness workshop. It's online. You can find out about it at mahatmadas.com. And often when I think of forgiveness, I think, okay, forgive means I was abused. That means I believe I was abused or I was mistreated. Is that true? And now I'm having a difficulty tolerating it, difficult time tolerating it. I'm upset, I'm angry, I'm resentful. And so tolerance, forgiveness, sometimes Prabhupada uses interchangeably, even patience. So I'm trying to tolerate, I'm trying to forgive you. You're an abuser, I don't like you, you did the wrong thing, it was unjust. You hurt me, you this or that, you dirty this or that, you lousy this or that, you stupid this or that, and I'm going to try to forgive you. I've always felt inherently there's something wrong with that we should be on a higher platform. And I never really understood how to do it until I started teaching forgiveness. And then I understood if you start looking at things differently, there'll be different reactions. So let's say you do something that upset me, but I come to understand your life, your challenges, your psychology, your needs, and then I understand, oh, I understand why you did that. Now I can see why you did that. And then I might even think, you know, if I were in that situation, I probably would have done the same thing. And so now all those reactions, that you stupid this, you abuser, you rascal, whatever I'm thinking, they're not going to be there. And there's going to be no need to forgive because you didn't do anything wrong. It was my understanding of what you did that was offending me, that was hurting me. Or it was my own need to have you act in a certain way, which maybe was not proper for you, maybe impossible, maybe not really necessary. It was just me, what I wanted. And so I understand, oh, I wanted you to be a certain way. This is another understanding. I wanted you to be a certain way. But that was me. It had nothing to do with you. You didn't do anything wrong. It was just that I needed you to be a certain way, which was my need. And now I'm upset. And then I realize, oh, that's my need. He has nothing to do with that need. Different vision. So there's a saying, it's a beautiful saying, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Well, what's significant about this, and we have this Shastra Chakshu, seeing through the eye of Shastra, what's significant about this is your emotional response to things is based on how you see it. So when we talk about forgiving, when we talk about tolerance and these things, I like to think of it in terms of, well, could I see it in a way that it no longer bothers me? Is it that I'm just seeing it in a certain way? And because I'm seeing it that way, I'm being bothered by it. But if I could change the way I see it to having a better understanding of the person or situation, perhaps a more empathetic or compassionate understanding of the situation, it often changes everything. And so that person's actions no longer bother us because we understand them better. We understand where they're coming from. We understand their needs. We don't see them as bad people. We just see them in their humanity, like we see ourselves in our own humanity. We make mistakes also. So I think this is really important, not just to think, oh, I'm going to tolerate you. Prabhu, I just want you to know I'm tolerating you. No. We'd rather come to the point and say, Prabhu, I want you to know I appreciate you, and I used to see you in a way where I didn't appreciate you, but it was my fault because I wasn't understanding you properly, and I really appreciate you. The last thing I want to say is every devotee who is sincere, which is practically everyone in our movement, is sincerely trying to serve Krishna. If they do something wrong, hello, nobody's perfect. But the main thing is that they're sincere. They're trying to serve Krishna. And if you see that, then when they do something wrong, generally, you'll just think, okay, he's human, but he's trying. He made a mistake. I've made mistakes. We all make mistakes. It's not going to be so upsetting, generally. Of course, sometimes someone can do something very upsetting. I'm not discounting that. But an ordinary course of life, what may have upset you may no longer upset you if you just focus on the fact that he's a sincere devotee. A little shift, another example of a shift. And there's so many shifts you could make. So really think about this, because I don't personally want to go through my whole life having to tolerate anyone and everything. It's too hot, too cold. I don't like this one. I'd rather be in a consciousness where I understand things in a way where tolerating is kind of not the norm. Still, I'll have to tolerate certain things, obviously, but it's no longer the norm, because I'm understanding things in such a way that my emotional response to it is no longer that I have to tolerate it or forgive it, because I'm understanding it in a way that, oh, okay, this is how it is. The last thing I want to say, I know this is long, but it's important, that you might say, yeah, but some things you just have to tolerate because things are going out of your control. Okay, but once they go out of your control, and you can't control them, if you just think, I have to accept this because I can't control it, now there's nothing to tolerate because you've accepted this is how it is. Simple, little switch. And there's nothing to tolerate because this is the way it's going. It just is this way. You stand back and say, what can I do? I have to accept it.